lady.
An old lady went out shopping last Tuesday. She came to a bank and saw a car near the door. A man got out of it and went into the bank. She looked into the car. The keys were in the lock. The old lady took the keys and followed the man into the bank. The man took a gun out of his pocket and said to the clerk, "Give me all the money." But the old lady did not see this. She went to the man, put the keys in his hand, and said, "Young man, you're stupid. Never leave your keys in your car. Someone's going to steal it." The man looked at the old woman for a few seconds. Then he looked at the clerk, and then he took his keys, ran out of the bank, got into his car, and drove away quickly without any money.
Short story. The Monster in the Wardrobe.
There was once a boy who was afraid of the dark. He thought that when it was dark his bedroom filled up with monsters. But there came a time when he was too old to be allowed to keep sleeping with the light on. That first night he was paralyzed with fear, his mind full of monsters, so much so that he went over to his wardrobe to get a torch. But when he opened the wardrobe door, he came face to face with a monster, and he let out the loudest scream in the world. The monster took a step backwards, grabbed its multicolored hair with its tentacles, and started crying. The monster cried for so long that the boy's shock and fear subsided. He calmed the monster as much as he could and started talking to him, asking him why he was crying and what he was doing tea. The monster told him he lived in the wardrobe, but almost never went out because he was afraid of the boy. When the boy asked him why, the monster told him the boy's face seemed to him the most horrible thing he'd ever seen, with eyes, ears, and a nose. The boy felt exactly the same way about the monster, who had an enormous head full of mouths and hair. The two of them talked so much that they became quite friendly, and they realized that both of them had been afraid of the same thing, the unknown. To lose their fear, all they had to do was get to know each other. Together they traveled the world, seeing lions, tigers, crocodiles, dragons. It was the first time either of them had seen such creatures, but they made the effort to get to know them and ended up dispelling their fear and becoming friends. Dan, although his parents weren't too happy because they thought he was too old to still believe in monsters, the truth of it was that all kinds of creatures visited the boy's bedroom each night, and instead of fearing them, he had learned to get to know them and befriend them.